Good morning, fun fans. You're with the Comic Pusher at the Comics Club, Tampa and Brandon's favorite comic and gaming show store. And this show is episode 2 of Saturday Showcase at the Comics Club, where we feature different products that we have for sale here at the Comics Club. And today we are focusing on puzzles, jigsaw puzzles to be specific. Jigsaw puzzles come in all different shapes and sizes. 1,000 pieces, 500 pieces, 550 pieces, all different sizes, and all different kinds of designs and stuff on them. And jigsaw puzzles have become really popular since the COVID struck, and people have been sheltered at home. So a whole bunch of different puzzles have become very popular, and we started carrying them here at the Comics Club recently. And so we want to show you what we have to offer for our puzzling selections. The puzzles began. London engraver and cartographer John Spilsbury is believed to have produced the very first jigsaw puzzles around 1760, and he used a marquetry saw for that. Early puzzles known as dissections were produced by mounting maps on sheets of hardwood and cutting along the national borders, creating puzzles that are useful for teaching geography. And the jigsaws actually the name became associated with jigsaws around 1880 when fret saws were used as a tool as a choice for cutting the shapes. But fret saws are very distinct from jigsaws, so the name appears to be a misnomer. And this is a typical jigsaw that you'll see when you're looking out shopping for jigsaws. And there's lots of different ones, whimsical, fun ones that you'll find. Hey, Second Street Marvel. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you guys. We're focusing on puzzles today. This was Kitten Adventures, a whimsical 500-piece puzzle that we have here at the Comics Club. Also, we have this one, Keep 'em Gaming. This is a practical parlor puzzle for parties and other social engagements. And this is the 500-piece puzzle. And then there's this also crazy space one. Again, one of the parlor puzzles. It's a 500-piece puzzle. And then, there's game puzzles that are based on games. And some of these games you're going to be familiar with, like this one, Illuminati by Steve Jackson Games. Illuminati is a standalone card game by Steve Jackson Games, and this puzzle is based on that. And that game is inspired actually by a book called The Illuminatus Trilogy by Robert Anton Wilson. And in the game, people are trying to basically control the world through crazy organizations, like the CIA is being run by Elvis Presley and things like that, tongue-in-cheek stuff like that. It contains all kinds of crazy stuff. So lots of games that we have here are based on games. Lots of puzzles here we have based on games, like Pathfinder, which is a role-playing game. Pathfinder role-playing game is a fantasy role-playing game. It was published in 2009 by Paizo Publishing. And it's basically picking up where the third edition of Dungeons and Dragons left off. And we have a couple of those in stock. And there's another one. And these Pathfinder puzzles are 1,000-piece puzzles. Most of the puzzles we have here at the Comics Club are 1,000-piece puzzles. Along the line of role-playing games, we also have Critical Role. If you're familiar with Critical Role, that's a web series that also has been turned into a role-playing game. And the web series has been going on since 2015, I believe. And we have a couple different puzzles based on that role-playing world. 1,000-piece puzzles. Those are our personal favorites. They're challenging. They take up some time, fill up some space in our days, and we're all sequestered in our homes more often than ever before. So here we are at also Dragon Age. This is also a role-playing game, and it was based on the video games. It was put out on Xbox and PlayStation and Windows and yada yada yada. It was released in 2009 and follows the story of a recent recruit to a legendary order of warriors known as the Grey Wardens. And their mission is to save the world from Thetis. I believe that's how you pronounce that name. From being overrun by the Dark Spawn, a monstrous race of subterranean dwelling beings known for swarming the surface world every few hundred years. And After that, we also have Assassin's Creed. If you're not familiar with Assassin's Creed, ask my wife. She knows all about it. She's been playing Assassin's Creed for quite a while now. She really loves the game. And that gets a wide open action adventure video game published by Ubisoft. And in this game, the assassins, they're a fictional millennial struggle between the assassins who fight for peace and free will and the Templars who desire peace through order and control. And we also have another one of those. There it is, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And Cyberpunk, another game that a puzzle has been made out of. Cyberpunk is popular. I think everybody knows about what happened recently with the most recent Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077, it had a lot of glitches in it. They ended up taking it down, putting it back up, and they had all kinds of problems with it. It was criticized because of the bugs, and the console version suffered performance problems. And Sony removed it from the PlayStation Store. This is back in December, and so we'll see if they ever get that worked out. But in the meantime, you can play a fun puzzle. Look at that puzzle; pretty cool, eh? Another one, Witcher, which is pretty hot. Hey, Gray Man, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Witcher is I watched the show, but this was actually a game. It was originally a series of fantasy novels out of Poland, a Polish author named Sapkowski, and the series revolves around this Witcher Geralt of Rivia, and it goes through all of the adventures with him. It's been a really popular game. Witcher series sold over 50 million copies worldwide, the video game. So that's been a pretty popular game. And remember, people, you can get all of these games that I'm showing you today at the Comics Club. We're open today from noon to 7. We are closed on Sundays, but we're open the rest of the week. And for any of these games you're interested in, please come on in and pick up a puzzle game. It'll be fun to play. Let's look at our next one here. We got one more game-based puzzle. This is Street Fighter. Everybody knows Street Fighter, a Japanese fighting game that came out way back in 1987. It's one of the highest-grossing video game franchises of all time, and pretty much it's Capcom's flagship series. Is a total of 46 million units sold worldwide as of December 31st, 2020. It's the highest grossing media franchise game of all time, with sales of $12.2 billion. So these puzzles that we carry in the store are often based on very popular games and other things, like TVs and movies, TV shows and movies like this one, Rick and Morty. Very popular game. It's a TV show. It's American animated science fiction sitcom, and it's on Adult Swim. The series follows the misadventures of a cynical mad scientist, Rick Sanchez, and his good-hearted but fretful grandson, Morty Smith. It's kind of a spoof of Back to the Future a little bit. And, of course, The Simpsons. This puzzle, this 1,000-piece puzzle, looks like it has almost every major character that ever was in The Simpsons, which is pretty remarkable. Pretty cool. Simpsons, of course, we know is an American animated TV cartoon, and it began on the Tracy Ullman Show way back when. If anybody remembers the Tracy Ullman Show, but it's just become hugely popular. I mean, there's tons of toys out there based on it. Puzzles, of course. There's been card games, just everything you can think of about them. The Simpsons. Also, TV and movies, puzzles based on them. Harry Potter, the 7 fantasy novels by J.K. Rowling. These novels have become the best-selling children's novels, I believe, of all time. I think they're at least giving Lord of the Rings a run for their money. And that is, of course, our friend, what is he? Dolby, the house elf, who Harry Freed, kind of accidentally on purpose. Here's another one showing Hogwarts. This is a 550-piece puzzle. And all the kids heading for school. Another one everybody will recognize is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a 1,000-piece puzzle based on that movie Beetlejuice. It's a 1988 American fantasy comedy musical produced by the Geffen Company and distributed by Warner Brothers. It involves around a recently deceased couple who become ghosts, haunting their former home, and an obnoxious, devious poltergeist named Beetlejuice. And if you say his name 3 times, he pops into existence. That movie was a very big success. It grossed at the time $73.7 million on a budget of only $15 million. So great return on their money for that show and a great fun movie. Friday the 13th, horror as you like it, a 1,000-piece puzzle based on that franchise, that horror film with the fictional character Jason Voorhees. Dobie? Is it Dobie or Dolby? Dobie. Yes, I think it's Dobie. I think you're correct there. I think it's Dobie. And Friday the 13th, the character Jason, he was a drowned child, and he comes back to haunt everybody decades later. And very scary stuff. And everybody's favorite thing to be scared of is a clown. Oh my gosh. This is the Derry, fictional town, Derry. And that is the crazy clown from Stephen King's novels. Derry first appeared in Stephen King's 1981 short story, The Bird and the Album, but has reappeared many times over the years in his novels. It's supposed to be near Bangor, Maine. That's where he lives. Stephen King is from Bangor, Maine. I think he still lives there. So Derry is where this place often, these adventures, these scary tales often take place in Derry. So we also have comic book based puzzles. And the first one up is Archie, a 1,000-piece puzzle. Archie and his gang. The characters first started in 1941. They came out with comic books, Pep Comics, and then they got their own comic from the Archie Comics Company. And it was the flagship title for the company for a long time from I think starting with issue number 70, it was shortened to just Archie. And then they restarted the numbering again back to the old platform with 699. And right now there's a TV show, Riverdale, and it is not your father's Archie. But this one is a great puzzle, and it'll be great fun to play. The next one is Elephant Men. This is set in the future. This story is based on this comic book. It's set in the future, like 200 years from now. The Mappo Corporation's headed by a misanthropic and megalomaniacal Japanese scientist named Dr. Kazushi Nikken. Anyway, he breeds humans and animal hybrids, and it's really intense, very adult, and it's a crazy story, but an amazing story at the same time. The Mappo turns the Elephant Men on UN troops, and horrendous casualties are inflicted on both sides. There's this huge war that goes on, but it's a very dark story and very unusual story where you have these genetically altered, half human, half creatures like elephants and men and hippopotamus men and things like that. So the series is similar to Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I think it was by Warren Ellis, or one of the Ellises anyway. But what an amazing story. If you haven't read this, it's really good. I don't know, there's not any currently in print that I know of, but if you're able to pick it up and find it. If not, pick up the puzzle and put it together. Don't insult Elephant Men as they never forget. That's right. That's right, Gray Man. And this one, everybody will be familiar with, of course, and that is Hellboy, the fictional superhero created by Mike Mignola, Mike Mignola, I'm a big fan of his. The character first appeared in San Diego Comic-Con Comics #2 in August 1993. Has since appeared in various miniseries and one-shots and crossovers. And it's been adapted into 3 live-action films, 2 of them starring Ron Perlman, my particular favorites. So the well-meaning half-demon character Hellboy was summoned from hell to Earth as a baby by Nazi occultists. If you ever saw the show, it's pretty wild. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, which contains a lot of characters from different areas of the Hellboy universe, and it's a wonderful fantasy, great fun, and this would be a great fun puzzle to put together. And of course, we cannot completely get out of comics and puzzles without the Joker. And there he is. From the world of Batman, the Joker is Batman's most iconic villain. And he's been around since, it was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson Batman was. And there's some controversy over there. Who takes credit? They should get the most credit for that. But the Joker is portrayed as a criminal mastermind and introduces a psychopath with warped sadistic sense of humor. And this 1,000-piece puzzle will be pretty challenging. You know, when you have a lot of same color spaces like this one has, that is going to be a challenge for you. So all of these puzzles will be lots of fun for anybody who wants them. And we have them here at the Comics Club. And if you are interested in them, come on down. We're open today from noon till 7 p.m. And because these were the ones featured on our show today and today only, you can get them at 10% off. And if you're a discount club member or subscriber, you get an extra 5% off, pushing that up to 15%. And don't forget our Wednesday show at 11 o'clock, where we give you our secret word, which is good for an extra discount in the store, 15% off any single item. If you know the secret word, come in and use that. You get an even better discount. But please do give us a like if you enjoyed the show. We're going to try to do this as often as possible. We'll focus on a different category of merchandise in the store every time. As you saw, back in the store. Oh, there I am. There I am again. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show today. We're going to focus on something different every time we do the show. We're going to do the show as often as possible. I can't do it every Saturday, but we're going to do it as often as I can. Did we lose the sound? Have we actually lost the sound? Have you guys, can you hear me now? Is it still there? Can you hear me? There I am. Sorry about that. Sorry if the sound wasn't all that great today. Some technical difficulties on my end. I just figured out how to do the background screen. So anyway, we're going to focus on a different group of merchandise in the store every time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment down below. That'll also get you entered into our monthly graphic novel drawing if you leave a comment on one of these shows. And also on our other show, Good Morning Comic Book Fans, which you do every Wednesday at 11 a.m. live, and tell you all the cool new stuff that came out. We'll be doing it again. This was, barring any problems, of course. Hopefully we won't have any problems with our merchandise being shipped. We had a lot of shipment problems with bad weather up north and other delays. But hopefully we'll be back on track this week. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Share this with your social media friends. If you're interested in any of these puzzles, do stop in today. Get yourself a discount. And yes, in the UK, but I'm sure you can find lots of great puzzles over there on the other side of the pond. So thanks, guys. We appreciate you stopping in and joining us today. And remember, read, it brings out the hero in you. We'll see you next time at the Comics Club.